Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in to none other than Pixel Perfect Listening Party right here, apex.com. We are joined on the line by a legend. I mean, the resume speaks for itself. I mean, we're talking original This Place is Haunted, random battles, and then a litany of personal self-titled and other releases. Amazing repertoire that you have. It's Michael Zucker, ladies and gentlemen.
That's quite an introduction.
Well, you deserve it. I mean, my goodness, your resume is unbelievable.
Oh, well, thank you. You know, I try. I keep busy.
And your guitar work alone is, back at MagFest, I think 9, you played the Double Dragon.
Yep.
Came on. Oh my God.
Yep. I mean, that was kind of a special MagFest because I had moved the previous year
to Colorado, right?
Right, and I actually fell off a roof too. I broke my back.
What?
So yeah. So I was still in the hospital. I was planning to come back for MagFest 8, but I was still in the hospital. I couldn't make it for 8.
Oh my goodness.
Then I came back for 9, and I joined the guys for Double Dragon at the end, which is sort of like me coming back to the band. And then since then, I've flown out to play with them at other MagFests and just other shows in Brooklyn and New York and wherever.
Well, it was pretty amazing because if we had the album and we were listening to it, whatever. But then to see you on stage and your technique and just the pure guttural thrashing, I want to say it's about ridiculous. And Double Dragon, nobody plays Double Dragon like you guys, especially your contributions to Double Dragon.
Yeah, I mean, well, there's some other bands that do it, but I guess not quite as like heavy, or I almost want to say like punk rock, like This Place is Haunted would do stuff.
Yeah, so like that's the thing, like I'm a big punk rock fan, and like to see you go up there, I was like, whoa, this, ladies and gentlemen, is where it's at. So
it was a great time. It was a great MagFest. I love that one. That was awesome.
One of the best in the legends of MagFest. But we are here to talk about the brand new album, Pixel Perfect. I'm sorry. And so what is this? There's 2 parts, part A, part B. You've got an LP going on. So like, what's going on with this album?
So I mean, I started work on it like immediately after I finished my last Chiptunes album, but that was like more than 2 years ago. And you're right. I put out a lot of records, so I've had a lot out since then. But I've been working on some of these tracks for, like I said, over 2 years. And I kind of got to the end, and I've got really only about 6 tracks worth of stuff. And I wanted to press some vinyl, too, because I haven't pressed any of my 8-bit stuff, any of my chiptune stuff to vinyl. I only did one vinyl LP before that, and it's a full band, and it's not really game-related or 8-bit related at all. So my thought was, what I'd do is I'd press the side A, which is the whole new album, and then side B just has like select tracks from some of my previous chiptune albums that never got a real pressing. So it's you get like a greatest hits on side B, and then side A is the new material. And then the other thing though, I decided to package it with a DVD. So it comes with a DVD, and the reason I did that is because everybody that sees my live show is always asking for a DVD. Like it's kind of hard to explain, but the live show has such a big video component to it.
Right.
It's all of these like reappropriated clips of games and movies and old commercials and all kinds of shit thrown in there. So people would see my show and go like, I want your CD, but I'd love to be able to have this visual experience. So I coupled it with the DVD. So it's a pretty cool set because it's got the LP, it's got the really good high quality audio and that nice package. And then it also has that DVD with over an hour of music and video.
It's a spectacular package, if you don't mind me saying. So,
Not at all. Not at all.
So we are taking questions we are at Twitter. We've got the Twitch going on, the Apex chat room. So we're taking questions from all that. Let's get into the music, and we can discuss the technical because people enjoy getting into what actually makes up the sounds, because chiptune is a genre and a style of music and an instrument all in one. So we can get into that discussion, some philosophy, if you will, and keep it going from there. So we'll get into it. We got Syntax and Stalagmite coming up right here. You're listening to Pixel Perfect right here on 8bitx.com. we are back and on the line. The artist himself, Mr. Mike Zucker. Michael,
Hey.
Mike, what do you prefer?
Either one. When you talk, like people talk to me, I think Mike is fine, but I always end up writing out Michael because I think he just looks cooler. But that doesn't stop people from doing whatever the fuck they want. Like I'm playing BitGen at the end of the month, and I know, like I sent them my bio, everything says Michael, and freaking JD, man, he puts Mike right on in the little video ad and
I
everything.
think JD does kind of whatever JD.
Oh.
Well, he knows you as Mike, right?
He- Totally, man. No, totally, he does, and he also does whatever he wants. So I mean, it's all good.
Now I do want to say I got this care package of I'm showing Twitch right now. This is what it came in, right? I'm protecting the front information, the sensitive information in front, but this cardboard piece thing here is this amazing package. And so I know you said you ran out of something or other.
Yeah.
What happened with the cardboard?
I had like special cardboard mailers for LPs, and I mean the second round of LPs that went out, they all had the cardboard mailer, but
right.
you sir, you have the very special, you and Brandon Hoodie, you guys got the very special,
limited
amazing
edition.
Yeah, limited edition, makeshift, made from old Amazon boxes, taped together.
So I'm going through. This is actually very easy to open.
Okay.
And I have to say, you have stumbled upon some ingenious way to do this now.
Yeah, seriously, like, fuck buying the cardboard mailers. I'll just take my old Amazon boxes and tape them up and
see. So when you order this, I'm trying to show you what you're gonna get when you order this thing. And then we got the Prime. You are a Prime member, sir, which serves you very well.
Right, I gave you some extra stuff too, so be careful without the false advertising. But
so we are opening the package here, the Bubble Wrap Supreme. I'm going to use those throughout the course of the listening party. So those are going to go over there. And then look at this vinyl. Like, look at this, guys. When you get this, I'll put it to the light so you can see it, and that is just spectacular in all of its brilliance there.
Yeah, they turned out nice. That's
and then even the back. Now, the back, you may be like, what is that? But you can see, as the camera's picking up, it's your face.
Right.
In pixelated form.
That's right.
ASCII art, if you will. So, and then you got the little MagFest. What is going on there? A little MagFest icon.
Yeah, man. Shout out too. Yeah, and also Chip
The
Win.
Chiptunes equals win over there.
Man.
Very nice.
Shout out to my boys.
Very awesome. So we're gonna open that in a little bit, and then what else?
You got to see the inside art of that eventually too. The
Yes.
inside is really badass.
So when you get, we got the neuropathy, which is part of what you're hearing in the background during our discussions.
Sure.
And
the DVD is in there for sure.
The DVD, the Zelda.
Yeah, the Super Nintendo-esque DVD.
This is great. So this is the visuals that you were discussing before.
Right.
An awesome job here in the packaging, and then awesome job. Can't wait to. Oh, the Denver. Do you see the Denver side?
Yeah.
That is classic.
Yeah. And over, where it says like the official Nintendo seal, it says Differential Productions.
Oh, look at the Differential Production seal. Oh,
right.
Look at that. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Seal of quality.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's another gem in there too. Whenever you open that up too, there's a little like mock, like an ad that used to come with every Super Nintendo game. It's mocked up in there.
It's nice. I'll have to check that out. We'll continue opening the awesome as we go through the show. What you've just heard in the previous two songs is some sort of clothing item in there too. We'll check it out. What you just heard is you heard Stalagmite and Syntax. Now, take us through the production of those songs.
Sure. So there's actually it's a good pair to pick to discuss that, because kind of the whole album is made up of really two varieties of types of compositions that I made. So when I used the actual Nintendo, the NES, the 8-bit system, I really tend to compose on that first. And so like Stalagmite's an example where I composed pretty much all of the basic tracks for that on the NES first. And so it's really the bass, and it's got kind of the faster arpeggiated melodies in there, and then some of the other lead melodies too. And that was like sort of composed as a whole piece, and then some of the noise drums. And then what I did is I layered on top of that guitar and some synthesizers and some drums. And then the first track, Syntax, is kind of the other variety where actually that track I did more of the drums and the instruments first. And then that one doesn't have any NES on it. It has Game Boy.
Okay.
I used LSDJ for Game Boy. And I really kind of, in that situation, I really just used the Game Boy more like the lead instrument. So at a place where I'd probably put like the lead guitar, instead of putting guitar, I just composed the lead melody on the Game Boy.
It's interesting because typically how I would think you would do a song is you would start with the drums and that kind of stuff first when you're trying to layer something, but you did the exact opposite of that. So for Stalagmite, so that's really interesting.
Yeah. No, there's something about the NES, I guess, because I've been doing that longer. I feel like a lot more comfortable composing stuff on the NES. I did do a whole album once called Sparse Voxel Octree that doesn't have any extra instruments at all. It's just pure 8-bit. It was nothing but an NES. So I have a lot more experience with that. I've tried doing whole compositions with LSDJ on the Game Boy, and I don't know why. I just it's trickier for me. I think it's the interface. You know, I love the sounds. You can get so many more cool sounds like out of a Game Boy. The tone is way better. But
and there's a stereo aspect of it too.
Oh yeah, it's stereo. You know, you have that wave channel. You can use tables and stuff that like really cool filters and special effects you can use on that you can't do on the NES. So it's got way more capability, but I think it's that interface, you know? I mean, and I use a real Game Boy with the cartridge. So, you know, you're hitting like up, down, you know, whatever. And it's I don't know, for me it feels like more clumsy to compose whole things on that format. I mean, I know a lot of people do and do it fantastic. But I tend to usually, and there's been a couple songs I've done in the past where it's sort of a combination of the two. And there's some of that on this album too, where I composed it on the NES, added guitars and drums and stuff, and then I went back and put in another lead with a Game Boy on top of it. But I tend to use the Game Boy more like an instrument, like a lead instrument, and I use the NES more like a compositional tool.
Very, very interesting because, well, you know what? We'll get into some of that philosophy, if you will, in a little bit. We got some more music here to get to. Up next, we have Micron and Cynical happening right here. You're listening to the Pixel Perfect listening party, courtesy of the revolutionary artist. I'm going revolutionary.
Revolutionary, okay.
Revolutionary
hey, I'll take
sounds.
It, man. I'll take it.
of Michael Zucker right here on 8bitx.com. We'll be back with more from the interview. Any questions, hit us up. Twitter, Twitch, the chat room, however you want. We'll get back to you. We'll answer your questions live right here. back, and I was messing around with that beautiful album record.
Yeah.
What you just heard was Cynical, which was amazing, and before that, Micron, and that album, I mean, the bright red doom, right?
Yep.
Oh, and the beautiful inside. Who did the artwork there? Was that all you?
Yeah, I did it. I like to do artwork too. I mainly do my own stuff and other artists on my label, but I've done a couple other bands here and there too.
Just gonna show off to the Twitch viewers out there. See, if you're not on the stream, you can check it out on our YouTube channel later. But here it is. It's just that very like trippy, acidy kind of like awesome stuff you got going on there. Totally. And then how did you do the back with the ASCII art? How was that? Was that a program or did you?
Yeah, no, I didn't do that by. That's a program. What's kind of weird is I don't remember exactly what program it was. It was actually something on the iPhone.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think it was like a free app that I got on the iPhone a long time ago, and I tried it, and it was, it had like a couple two or three shitty filters, and it just happened to have that one. So I made that photo, and I kept it. And then here's the funny thing. So I went back to try to use that again. I couldn't find that app.
Oh, no.
So I had that one photo that I did all ASCII'd, and I just used it.
It's a beautiful. So you're a record label now. Let's talk about Differential Productions.
Sure.
What do you do for that record label?
It's my record label. I mean, what do I do? I'm the president and CEO of that.
I can relate. So, that can mean a lot of things. So, I know you master the albums, right? So, in the end, what are you responsible for? Someone wants to do an album with you. What do you do?
Well, I do. I cover. There's so much stuff that my company does. Actually, one of the biggest sources of revenue for Differential Productions is actually I build microphone preamplifiers. And
really?
I build studio equalizers, and I do repairs. I build anything, cable systems, cable harnesses, all kinds of hardware stuff, because I have a background in engineering and physics, really. So I do all kinds of like technical stuff like that. I do anything freelance in terms of recording, editing, mixing, mastering, and duplication services too, because some people need help with that. So there's that, but then also it's kind of a loose record label. In fact, I usually call it an artist collective. Kind of feels better than record label, because I don't do artist exclusive for anything. I just do album exclusive. So if someone wants to do an album with me and I really believe in it, I'll do a lot of work for them for a percentage of that album. But I try not to constrain people, because I realize I'm small. I'm a small label, so I have bands that have huge aspirations and they don't want to get stuck in a long 5-album deal, So
Gotcha.
So I'm more like, if I really like a band and I really like the material that they have in the moment, I'll help them make that record and I'll put it out on my label and support it every way that I can for them. And that's, there's a lot of artists on my roster, but they tend to be more, a lot of times they're like side projects from other guys that are in other bands, and then they want to do a solo album or something for another band of theirs. So a lot of it's word of mouth kind of thing like that.
That's pretty fascinating, because I would not have pinned that down as kind of like your forte as the record label. So that's very, very interesting. So you have I assume it doesn't matter what kind of genre it is.
Yeah, well, usually I just like to say edgy stuff, and there's definitely some weirder. I go for weirder stuff for my label, and there's some bands that fit that more than others on there. I mean, if you just go to differentialproductions.com under artists, there's a nice roster, and some of them, it spans a lot of genres. But I'd say what kind of brings it all together is that it's a little edgy. It's a little different. Even stuff that is more like singer-songwriter or more like pop-oriented, but I try to make it, at least in the production, and a little weirder, That's definitely my goal.
Gotcha. I'm looking at it now. You got You Bred Raptors on there, familiar to some of our listening audience, and Dark Matter, and Rare, organic rock with soul and flair. Oh, so
Yep. Yeah, Rare. So they're more of a They're more of a pop band, and actually, that's a band that was formed by a former drummer from This Place Is Haunted, Tim Bielik. He's the drummer for that band Rare. So that's what I was saying too. And You Bet Raptors, Pete is the former bassist from This Place Is Haunted. He's former. I mean, still the bassist. But
former for This Place Is Haunted. Gotcha.
Well, because he's so You Bet Raptors is really, really active now. So that's become his main project. You see Jeff Barone on there as well. Also, This Place Is Haunted. Max Bernstein, he worked in a couple different bands with me. The Artist Fire is another band that he and I were in that's on there. You see Random Battles on there.
One of my favorites, by the way.
Right.
That CD has not left my car in over a year.
It's a great album. Another one that took a long time. It took Rex like 2 years at least to make that. But sometimes if you take a long time with it, you really take care with it. It shows in the final product, and that's an awesome album.
If you guys haven't picked up the Random Battles, the album, it is by far and away one of the best VGM albums ever produced. I mean,
absolutely.
I listen to a lot of VGM. This is what we do here, and highly recommend it. Highly recommend it.
So Rex is his like what I want to say is arrangements are just phenomenal. He's one of the best.
It is the Zelda, man. That's
Oh yeah. What, you mean the Dungeon Master, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh my god, that's my favorite one. It was always my favorite one.
And I did enjoy that Mega Man. That intro coming all the way through, and just like you said, the arrangement.
I think the Mega Man X. I think that has Amanda Lepre on there. There's a bunch of guests on that album too. Really good guest work on that album.
It's absolutely phenomenal. You got to check it out. randombattles.bandcamp.com. Check it out. Just fantastic stuff. So then we have some other stuff to get to on the album, and I do want to get to chiptunes. What is chiptune exactly? But we have Prognosis Negative and Affluenza coming. Affluenza. Okay.
Affluenza. Right. Hey, Prognosis Negative. Let's see there. Can you pick up where that's from? Maybe no one's been able to grab that off the bat. It's an old '90s TV show.
Is it Doogie Howser? Is it
No, it's Seinfeld. It's Seinfeld.
Okay.
I don't know why it's stuck in my head. I always wanted to name a song that. It's this movie that they keep talking about going to, Prognosis Negative. It's like the best movie that came out that year. And they can't get into this movie, or something keeps happening. They can't go see this movie. And it just stuck in my head as I wanted to use it as title. And then when I wrote that song, I was like, oh, that's
got to be it, right?
That's got to be it.
So it's like for those people who watch Always Sunny in Philadelphia, it's like a Thunder Gun Express kind of thing.
Sure.
Awesome stuff. Well, we'll be back. We'll hit Prognosis Negative, and then we'll hit Affluenza, and we'll be back after this. You're listening to Pixel Perfect right here, apex.com. that was pretty intense, if I have to say myself. Man, affluenza and prognosis negative, which you get a kick out of every time we say prognosis negative.
Do you know it? That's the point. That's the point. Yeah, that what I wanted to add something because you were asking about technical stuff.
Yeah.
So another thing I really love to use is the speak and spell, which is this old toy from God knows when. I don't know, the 80s maybe.
82?